on that parking ramp, county?
I don't know. I mean, I've just never got involved with it. You can put it free.
From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
It's warm. I just warmed it up for you.
And welcome to Taxpayer Hotline with my... We got an empty seat?
Well, it doesn't.
I'm invisible.
Oh, there
Oh,
he is.
he's going to freeze.
He's playing... Aren't you coming up here?
Oh, I'm coming.
We have my good friend Ronnie Stemka, and this is Kaz Kwiatkowski, City Councilman, and a little overview of the rules. Anything is fair game.
Anything is fair game.
Just keep it in the bounds of what?
Good taste.
Yes, let's not try to get personal, but...
Well, no, whatever you think.
Well, I mean, this is not a, what do you call it? We're not going to be a muckraker show. Do you remember what a muckraker is?
Yeah.
Okay. So good to have you back, Traveler.
Yeah, we up in your buddy. You lost him.
My buddy.
Yeah, your little black and white.
buddies.
I'm going to
A
ask
little black and white
did you bring me back a bag of popcorn from South Dakota?
I did not.
You didn't go to the popcorn place?
I did not go to... I went to the biggest popcorn ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't bring you back.
You didn't go to the Corn Palace?
I went to the Corn Palace.
No popcorn for me?
Didn't get you any popcorn, no.
You didn't buy me a bag of popcorn?
I didn't know you wanted popcorn. You didn't even know I was going.
I found out, like, when you're on the road there.
I went everywhere. 10 states, 10 days.
Do you think we could be first at anything like popcorn place or
We should be... Why don't we have tourist traps? Why don't we have stuff like that?
like the biggest ball of thread? Or
I saw the biggest ball of twine. I saw missile silos. I saw popcorn balls, corn palaces.
Get into the missile silo?
I went into a missile silo. I went into 2 launch bunkers.
I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in. The line was such. I think you're better off going later in the year.
Yeah, there was hardly anybody there at all.
How would you like to have a bomb shelter in your backyard?
I would love it. I would live in it.
Guy from Rochester's got one.
Yeah.
300 people.
Hey, you already got one. It's called your car.
My what?
I've seen your car. It's filled with all kinds of stuff in there.
Oh, the guns, yeah.
It's a bomb shelter, right? Did you go to Wall Drug too while you're out
I
there?
went to Wall Drug. I did everything between here and Devil's Tower.
He did the trip.
I did a trip. It was only, part of the country. I need to do the West Coast now.
We can send Ron out there now.
Yeah. I'm tired. I'm still catching up. It's going to take me days to catch up for my vacation. 10 days on the road.
So what do we now? You returned.
Oh, we'd have to get in late about what's going on in the county first.
Sure. Fill me in.
Okay.
The so-called spokesman for the people is going to speak now.
Yes, Mrs. Delcamper is trying to get 19 new jobs and raise county taxes. And I think I don't know where she's coming from. These 19 new jobs that she's talking about and raising the taxes and trying to take over the bus company from the city to the county. Now that'll establish new jobs for her friends. I think people better wake up and start looking at the roads and what's going on with county council. I mean, she stuck the people with the hotel and ramp down there at the Bayfront, and then she $27 million for the communication system. I think that $27 million could have went to something else in Erie County,
Well, what I'm disappointed in, well, first of all, you can't blame her for the hotel because that was a work in progress that's been determined a long time. That goes way back, okay? Those plans were laid in cement a long time ago. So, I mean...
How about the parking ramp? That was on the AFF plant.
The only thing with an authority that is under the county, by the way, not the city anymore.
What's that?
The convention authority,
Yes, but they had their own control, do what they wanted.
They have made the... I mean, I think everybody knew there'd be a parking ramp. The question was, where was it going to go? That's my whole question was, I think it should have belonged on the surface lot of the convention center.
Yeah, you had a lot of space, so you could have put it right there.
Yeah, because there were things we could and couldn't do where the ramp went, because of issues under the ground. But we could have put things in there that would have maximized our return tax-wise. Okay, there are a lot of questions, like, and the mayor feels the same way, and I think the majority of council does that. It's a very important piece of land, and it should have those things which will not only draw taxes, but will provide entertainment for the public, things for the public to do when they go down there.
Okay, now a hotel, they're going to be paying taxes, just like the Sheridan's not paying
I would
any
say
taxes.
my first guess would be probably not.
So you're putting all these buildings in, we the people are paying for this.
Well, it's only because if that hotel was owned, I believe now, there's going to be taxable property on the GAF. Okay, just like if you look at the the place where the bus station is now, what do you call it?
Terminal.
The intermodal unit.
Right.
Okay, there are some things in there that pay tax, some that don't. Okay. Now the trouble is that the hotel is actually not owned by Sheraton, and it's not owned by, to my knowledge, not owned by the Marriott. Okay.
Well, who owns it? They got their name on it.
The building, well, yeah, but here, I'll give you an example. McDonald's very rarely owns the land it sits on.
Right, you mean they have the building on the land.
They lease the land and build a building, okay?
And the parking is done by Erie.
And they build, and they usually, pay taxes. Now, in the case of that hotel, I believe the owner is the Convention Center Authority, okay? So they actually, they and the county, because the county's their underwriter for their bond issues, okay? If you remember when they built the hotel and everything, they had to get the loan underwritten by the county. Just like in Erie, any of the authorities are responsible for it. The parking authority, the EMTA, we have to underwrite their debt. In other words, if they fail, okay, it's on our books. That's why you hope that an authority like the airport authority, like the parking authority, make money, okay? Because if they make money, you're going to have people are going to moan that the rates are too high parking, but you don't want it coming out of your tax base, okay? They're designed to be self-sustaining. Now, in the case of that hotel, I believe, from what I understand, the buildings are owned by the authority, all right? Okay. So then they approached companies to come in and manage them as hotels. So they'll come in, and basically that's why you had that but you had that strange thing that happened about a year or so ago where people were saying, why are we renovating the Sheraton? It just got built. That's a Sheraton corporation saying, your building doesn't meet our standards, okay? That's what you get into. So the hotel may pay taxes with their employees and everything, okay? But the real estate taxes, probably not, because the building is owned by the authority, okay? So the hotel will still pay business taxes, income taxes, stuff like that. But what it won't pay is the real estate taxes.
Okay, how many homes were brought into the fold with Mill Creek Water Department? How many homes did they come into our water department?
This
is a rough guess.
I couldn't even give you one. I'd be wrong.
If anybody else out there, the public knows, call us up and tell us.
It probably was a small segment. Compared to what was left of Mill Creek, it was a small segment. But, I was going to be in the thousands of homes.
Okay, and
you would think. You would think that.
They still charge you. I got my gas bill. My water bill today, $111. They still got that surcharge on there.
Meaning for the billing.
Your billing.
They're always going to have that.
They shouldn't, because if you get a bill from Sears, they don't charge you
You would if Sears had to farm it out. Okay, what Sears does is that's why when you see. What are the banks doing, Ron? They're nickel-diming you.
Yeah, well,
they don't charge you.
On your own money, take money out of it.
How many times you seen them? You put money in a bank and they charge you $1 every month on your checking account or your savings account because you're not at a minimum balance. Okay, that's their way of saying that's our charge. Okay, a lot of times you don't see the bill. Okay, in the case of the water authority, the city many years ago decided they weren't going to have the billing handled here at City Hall. When they did that, okay, go ahead, caller.
I'm listening about that service charge. That service charge is already set up and put into the computer.
Well, sure, you know that. We all know that.
And it's just...
John, have you flown lately?
Pardon?
Have you flown lately?
No.
Did they really have to charge me $2 for a pillow?
If you want it.
I mean, yeah, but think about it, John. I mean, everybody is doing this, and you know what? They can get away with it because when they bid on the contract to handle our billing, that's their way of recovering the cost.
What if the customers out there for don't even pay the service charge and just pay their usage?
That'd be a good question. I think, right? I won't get involved in that because I'm not going to be Mario
Oh, I understand.
and having
that,
people
but
not paying their bills, but
if the people are unhappy with their service charge, don't pay the service charge, just pay their bill.
I don't know what would happen, but, you
What
know,
would happen?
I don't know. Who knows? I
Got
mean,
a fifth floor up there, ask them.
if it's part of their bill, you could have your water turned
It's
off.
just a service charge. It's not part of your bill.
Yeah, but you know what? In law, do they consider the whole bill valid or not?
I have no idea.
You know,
It's a gray area.
when you start getting into things like, I never knew this when, you know, they got weird laws that handle when your car's in the possession of a garage, right?
You lost
And
me
you
there.
decide, well, you know, if you take your car to a garage, you get it fixed, right?
Yes.
And I remember studying this again, and I didn't take much law, very little, but it was weird when you start hearing things like, if you didn't pay your bill and you had an argument with the owner, you know, he could charge you so much a day for storage, and then he could dispose of your asset in so many days.
Well, I don't know if that would fly in
But
court.
see, it does because, John, those rules are there, but they're not there. They're not there for us as citizens. They're there for the lawyers that know about it. You know, there's all kinds of things we don't know about until you go to court, and all of a sudden you find out, well, here's a law that did this. Here's a law. The bill's all inclusive. You know.
Oh, yeah, that's just like your speed limits in the city now. Are all those speed signs, are they voted by city council and approved?
Well, the ones on the state highways, no.
What about in the city? Everyone in the city has been voted on and approved?
I would think if you look back into the ordinances, and I never did all the way back, but when there is a section on what do you call it, roads and transportation, and I'm sure that, well, we vote on stop signs, we vote on placing no parking signs in certain places, we vote on taking down things. I would say the speed limits were voted on many, many years ago.
On each individual street?
What is probably what they call blanket coverage. In other words,
It could be.
except where posted, it's
But
probably.
let's get to another.
Yeah, but you know what, John? Someday look up on the internet. If you got lots of time,
Yeah.
read the ordinance on. I'm sure that somewhere way back they set speed limits on the roads. You know.
Yeah, somewhere way back, you're not allowed to take a bath in the nude on Sundays either.
Well, you know what? To Ruby Jenkins' credit, when she was on council, she spent.
She'd look it up.
Yeah, she spent 2 years going through the books, and she actually had them repealed. A lot of them that had no bearing anymore. That, you know, they get lost in the archives for years.
Has there been a new issuance of them?
What do you mean?
Which ones have been repealed and which ones are in effect?
Yeah, when they're repealed, every year there's a new ordinance book comes out. That's what the city clerk keeps that in there, and then every person that in City Hall that has an ordinance book, you get the updated version. You know, the new pages and all that.
Oh, okay, I'll have to come down and see when I have to.
Yeah, I mean, all the ordinances are here if you want. Got a lot of time to. That room in the back is interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I have a question for you. I see the Redevelopment Authority wants to do the second and third floor on their building they own on 14th and State. And they're thinking that it will be cost around $500,000.
Who's that? On 14th.
Top of the comment.
Juniors, above juniors.
Oh, who's going to do that? The redevelopment.
The Redevelopment Authority.
They don't own that building, right?
No, what's his name? The one in the wheelchair, I think.
I think they own the building.
You think they own Juniors?
They own the building.
I thought Juniors owned the building.
Here just rents.
Okay, I thought he owned it.
No, but what I want to know
Yeah.
is where are they going to get the money when they haven't even paid their taxes?
Good question.
I mean, are they going to come to city council and ask for some more money like the Mercantile Building, like the Kohler project, like the Juice project, and then go belly up and me as a taxpayer and the rest of us?
Well, right now they're in City Hall. Why would they want to move?
Who, juniors?
No, redevelopment.
Why would they want to move?
Yeah.
Where is their building?
Well, right now, the redevelopment authority is in City Hall.
So, I mean, they have nothing. They pay no rent. They pay no utilities.
Well, I always argued with people when they said that. I said,
Oh, I'm paying them.
I mean, if we charge them, it just comes out of our pocket anyway.
They're not paying their taxes. And they're going to come to city council and ask for $500,000. They put this out for bid.
Well, I don't think I'm they're going to have to tell me, you know, for an organization that wound up in City Hall because they couldn't afford any buildings, I'd be looking long and hard
The
before.
mercantile building, where'd that go? They sold it. Because they couldn't get it rented out.
Well, there's too
Who
many.
owns the one on 14th and Parade?
There's too many. I'm going to be real interested in Mr. Griffin because he's more of a hands-on guy.
Well, Griffith is a different person than the redevelopment authority. I thought they got rid of Kim Green. She resigned, yet she gets a $95,000 job with the city. And this assistant director for her then, now he's getting what, $65,000? They kick money around like they grow it on trees.
We must take acts after. Del Kemper must be teaching them some bad habits.
But I'll tell you this: they too many times they're looking for the golden
Apple.
the golden goose to come in here from they had plans of doing Pittsburgh-style housing in downtown Erie. Well, you know what? It probably would work if, and I say if, you put it in a spot that was like down by the waterfront or maybe.
Well, the mayor said it was a great thing.
Well, everybody's going to say that. John, John, do you remember that famous poem?
Yeah.
It says, "Success has many fathers,
Yeah.
but failure is an orphan."
Failure is a big orphan.
Right. Watch what happens. Do you ever see the picture when somebody comes in town?
Yeah.
You know, like, remember the Kohler plant? The governor was here?
Oh, yes.
And I was sitting there. In that bombed-out shelter while they went through the litany about what was going to be here.
And where did it go?
And,
Up
you know,
in smoke.
we all sat there, and, you know, the people that were really involved were up there with their pictures and the handshakes. And, you know, but what happened years later, right?
Yeah.
You don't see anybody coming out there and going,
At least when the old Kohler building was paying, Mr. Kellogg was paying taxes.
well,
So what's it wind up? It winds up as a parking lot for Hallman's.
now you'll hear it from me. I've always heard this, and it's. I'll never claim that I created jobs because government can't.
Government cannot create jobs.
They can create the atmosphere. They can help it, but when you get down to it, jobs are created by the private sector.
Just like our illustrious county.
County executive.
Right, but government can create jobs within their own little realm. Okay, that's possible, but they can't do any big things. But next time you see somebody get up there and go, taking claim for bringing in Walmart or bringing in.
They come in,
bringing in a
because
factory.
they take a study of the area, and then if they hire people, it's because they need the people.
Right, but did you ever?
Government doesn't bring it in. They may give them a alert or something for X amount of employees for a short time.
But John, did you ever see a press conference saying, I want to take blame for the jobs leaving?
No.
So you'll never see that, right?
You got Chafee, you got the commerce down there, you got the high taxes, the non-profits. They drive everything out. Just like they said, they want to make this a hub. Like we had years ago, we had the grain elevator, we had the coal docks, we had the pulpwood docks, we had the trains down there. It was a booming industry then.
Yeah, we had a lot of dirty guys carrying lunch buckets home every day.
Right. Now we don't. All we have down there is people looking for government money and state money and federal money, and none of their own. The people that have their own money and do it, they run into all kinds of roadblocks.
Go ahead, John. You had another question. I didn't want to interrupt you, but...
Well, I was going to say to the county executive, she wants to get a diversity officer. She wants to hire a grant writer. Well, I thought we have grant writers on the east side and the west side. They're called state representatives.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a grant writer, but let me tell you this.
If Erie had a grant writer, where'd it go?
A lot of teachers write their own grants in the public schools. A lot of people write their own grants around here. If you're going to have a grant writer, you better make it so that the return from writing those grants is greater, way greater than the amount of money paid out to keep that person around.
Well, I think the state has sent enough money up here. If you look at all the projects that they've sent money up for, you've got the Erie Insurance, you've got the
What I'm disappointed,
Convention
John,
Center, you've got the airport.
all the money that the county gets from the casino, and and not a drop, rarely a drop comes to Erie, and now they're pleading poverty, and and I'm going, what happens to all that gambling money? I mean, we're sending it out to
The surrounding county.
Yeah, I mean, if we got a truly, you know what? I would not be against spending gambling money on the system. The what do you call it? The communication system, because that's something that's good. But how come we're sending our money to all kinds of festivals and all stuff like that? If we're truly,
I cannot see that myself.
if we're truly in trouble, let's use that gambling money for something
You've got
important.
a guy that's the head of the gaming commission, gets 6 figures for signing checks. And then they have a committee that picks these various organizations.
They better be careful, because that casino, every time you look at it, the amount of money from a month previous has gone down.
All I know, wrapping this up, was you got to watch the ball being snapped before you get off on it. You don't do it and get a re-kick and you'll blow the game. Have a great day.
We'll see you.
Wait, here comes the voice of reason.
You've been quiet, DJ.
Yeah, you've been off.
People want to hear you. They said,
I have
You did a good job
nothing-
last time.
I have nothing but an amazing week I just spent.
you don't have another question, though, or?
You want another question over?
Still on.
I actually went on my own little road trip. I went down to, took the lantern tour at Pithole, the ghost town,
Yeah.
Where's that?
near Plummer, down south of Titusville.
Oh, okay. Kind of
No,
wet Saturday.
Next year I'll ask you to be my guest.
It's kind of wet Saturday, wasn't it?
It wasn't bad. It was actually nice. I went at Friday night, actually.
But get back to that.
Hang your thought there. Hold it. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I live on the 1900 block in the city of Erie on West 35th Street.
Right.
And I've called the city's streets department many times about coming along our curb area and fixing it. And no one's ever said nothing.
What's wrong with the curbs? Are they broke up, you mean?
Well, the curbs are broken up. They're sinking. Some houses don't even have a curb in front of them because they sunk down so low.
Did you talk to the engineer, or
I called everyone I can think of, and no one,
they didn't give you an answer at all?
all they said, well, write it down.
1900 block, West 35th.
On the north side of the street.
I'll see if they can tell me if they even have that on the list.
See, what it needs, it just needs to be milled down a little bit and some more asphalt put on it. Because when the street cleaner comes through or a snowplow, it just pulls it all up.
1900. Let's see. That'd be
Between Garden and Stowe.
okay. I'm trying to remember because I used to live not there, but I'm trying to think. I knew where 1200 were. I'll take a ride out there and take a look at it too. Okay.
A lot of us, we take our snow blowers and clean in front of our houses too. And last year I broke a couple pins just hitting the asphalt.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of our curbs around the city are in disrepair, and I don't. We're going to have to address that. But I'll check with them to see if it's even on the list to be addressed next year. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I'll see if it's even like in the if it's even in the radar, if they're even thinking about it.
I doubt if it is.
But 1900 block West 35th.
Yeah, on the north side of the street.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
That building, Garvey owned that building.
Which one?
Comedy Club is in.
William Garvey owned it?
I then went to wheelchair.
Oh, that guy. Oh, McGarvey.
Garvey.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, that juniors, they own the first 2 floors.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I read it in the paper.
How can you have that kind of situation?
I don't know. And when I think the roof got fixed, the redevelopment authority fixed the roof because they own the top 2 floors.
How many floors are there? 4?
There's 4 floors there.
I remember him when he was on TV, but I remember him in the past when I talked to him. He's always had plans for that 2nd floor.
Yeah.
But, he wanted to put like a piano bar in there with the dueling pianos or something.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to have like 2 separate types of entertainment. But, it's a nice building.
Oh, yeah. But what really jumped out at me, and the article was, written by Kevin Flowers, was that the redevelopment authority has had the $500,000 for the windows and the repair of the facade, the bricks and stuff, since 2010, and didn't spend it because they alluded to the fact that things weren't taken off down there the way they thought, so they didn't proceed with dolling up the top 2 floors of that building.
And then you have that guy thinking about moving now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Which one moving?
Juniors. He's not too happy.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. Yeah.
We tore when we and this is everybody redevelopment the city when we tore out all that.
No, Kaz, we don't have a redevelopment authority. We really don't.
Remember the old days? Redevelopment they were really aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe too aggressive.
Yeah.
They tore down almost the whole downtown and rebuilt about half of it.
Yeah. But and again, we've had some weak leadership by strong individuals, and I'm talking about Mr. Elliott and Ms. Green. Those two bounced a lot of things around down there in that area because, when John Elliott was there for the redevelopment authority, Ms. Green had that job that she has now for economic development for the city.
Yeah.
And I remember, Kaz, when you were talking about the Kohler property.
Right.
I remember watching Kim Green come down and plead before City Council that Brad promised her 200 jobs, and it was something to do with the City Council, writing a letter to the state about that they were supporting the project, and Kim Green was trying to get you guys to sign off on that. And I hate to kick her name around, but she's still there. It's like she just keeps resurfacing. But and then I thought that we weren't going to get an executive director of the redevelopment authority, and I saw in that article they kept referring to that Mr. Henry as the director of the redevelopment authority, and I thought we didn't have one of them anymore because they couldn't afford it. But you lose track of all that stuff.
Yeah, they're down at City Hall because they couldn't afford to have their own building.
Yeah, they moved out of the Renaissance Center. They had a floor there.
Well, and people say, well, how come you're not charging them rent?
Yeah.
The bad thing is the city is responsible for them when they're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we're just charging ourselves. But, getting back to what you said, 2 things struck me this week as being kind of, you hear that Juniors was not happy, and I'm not saying I'm piling on, but I always thought it was a bad idea when they started tearing out the parking a while back.
Yeah.
You only have you have a very fragile area up there, loaded with tons of bars, tons of businesses, and very limited parking. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right.
You opened up when you opened up the train station, and then you took out the parking in front of the train station. Effectively you took out about half of it.
Yeah.
And you got so much infrastructure down there that it's hard to imagine how anybody's going to park down there. And Juniors now is not happy because he can't expand. He probably doesn't have enough room for his people. And then I heard a comment from somebody that said, well, if he can hang on 2 years when they build a new parking ramp at the bus station, people can walk over there. And I'm going, people are not comfortable in this town walking a block and a half to a parking ramp. For whatever reason, I'm not saying they're justified in their opinion, but that's the reality. And then the other day you lose Puffer Belly.
Right.
And you know what? I understand, why she did it.
Sure.
She's a marvelous woman, and I know her personally.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of the public hit it right on the head. You know, we're going to miss them because that was a unique restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any chains down in here, not big chains.
Yeah.
You won't see the, what do you call it, the Longhorn Steakhouses and the Olive Gardens. But we had a beautiful amount of independent, top-end restaurants.
Yeah.
And then the one comment in the paper that really got me was, well, you know, sometimes less is more. What? Where did, you know, less is more? You know, it wasn't like she was losing money or anything. At least I don't think so. It's a fact that, you know, we need more, not less of things.
Yeah.
And, you know, and...
Yeah. And Cass, you know, I mean, it was a beautiful place to go. I mean, when you walked in there, it was unique. The food was pretty good.
Well, yeah, you know, you take her, Bertrand's, 1201, the new Cloud 9.
Yeah.
There's a few. Well, we used to have the one that was in the marketplace there, you know.
Yeah.
And you take the other ones like the brew houses that opened up down on the lower part of State Street.
Yeah.
Molly Brannigan's. You know, you take people from out of town there, and they're amazed at the, you know, I mean, maybe we think it's a little high sometimes, but you know, those things are nice, isn't it? But to have somebody say less is more, I never bought that.
No, it's nice to see, you know, some younger minds, and I don't agree with everything they're saying all the time, but I see some coalitions forming that might get the young entrepreneurs and stuff, if it gets a chance to take off, you know, they might come up with some ideas. But we really need to focus on, you know, some jobs and, keeping the jobs we got. You know, Cass, you're the facilitator. That's how I look at city council. You're the facilitator for keeping jobs here and finding opportunities for other businesses to come here. You facilitate and make everything happen and make it easy for someone to do that. Well, I don't think we do a very good job of that. I think we scare people off, and we're just losing too much in the city.
Do you remember when you and I were growing up? It was real tough for us to make a dent.
Yeah.
But now I think that the town, and I'll get hammered for this comment.
Oh, yeah.
But now that we're pretty well bottomed out.
Yeah.
You know, we've lost a lot of the impetus we had way back. You know, this is a city struggling to find a new identity and everything.
Yeah.
I think now is a time for whether we as old timers or those of us who are been around, you know, longer.
Yeah.
It's time for us to step aside and realize, just like when we were growing up, we would say, all these things that are in town were set up for an older population.
Yeah.
And they kind of like kicked us out. So what did the young people do? They moved away.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, now, you know what? You can have I've seen it happen in Harrisburg. You can have the melding of a place where people my age want to do my type of thing.
Yeah.
Or we want to go to, maybe we like to go to the younger places too.
Yeah.
So you can have this new thing about like the kids. They love wine bars. They love things, you know, breweries, stuff we cared about was we went and bought a bottle of beer. That's all we worried about. You know, these kids like their craft beers. They like their wine.
Oh, yeah.
They like a different type of entertainment, stores.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily bad. And it's time that, you know, we had economic leaders that started looking at that.
Yeah.
Quit molding this town into what everybody thinks that, you know, like putting buildings in the wrong spot. And you need to start talking to people like Kennedy, Griffith, Nick Scott, people like that.
And God bless the MLK Center or whoever bought the building at 18th and State, but you know that's another loss to the tax rolls off of our main street.
You mean the bank there?
Bank, yeah.
Oh, did MLK buy it?
Yeah, somebody bought it, one of those centers, and the irony of it is they're renting space from Rick Griffin over at the 14th and French Lovell place.
You know what the problem is? Once again, nobody, you know, in the old days that building would have been snapped up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Remember when we were kids and they redeveloped the 18th and State and the 18th in Peach area and Sass.
Yeah.
That was the hot spot area. I mean, you had a hotel went up there.
Yeah.
You had all kinds of. You had a bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
And now you flash forward,
Yeah.
50 or so years, and you can't get a bank building on the corner of 18th and State.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't get anybody to go in there since the bank left.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I mean, what do you do? I mean,
So now we're going to convert it into basically a daycare center.
well, what can you do? It's either that or it stays there looking like.
Yeah. But listen, I'm going to let you go. I don't want to tie up the line. There's probably somebody trying to call.
But
But you guys hang in there.
yeah, come on the show sometime. Your comments are always. You
Yeah, I will, Cass. All
got
right.
to get the other viewpoint.
Yeah, okay. Bye-bye.
I get frustrated when I see all these things going out now.
Okay, I'll go away for 10 days and we'll go to hell in the handbasket. When did Pufferbelly decide to go?
It's a personal decision that her husband died, and go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'd like to pick up on John's remarks about the water bills.
Go ahead.
Council made a decision to break up the water bills to collect refuge.
Yeah. Well, yes, we did.
So now we're getting one bill for water as service charge on it, and one bill for sewer and refuge that has another service charge on it.
Right.
So we're paying a service charge twice.
Yeah, but I think we looked at this in the past, and they split the bill. What they did, they split the service charge. I can go back and check again, or do you have a bill at home from the old days?
No.
People told me, I believe, and unless I'm wrong, they told me what they did was they split that service charge.
Yeah, they put 17 and 17.
I can go back.
That's what you
and-
get.
Yeah,
35.
they did. They're not charging you twice. What they're doing is,
No, they did.
well, they charged you once before.
Okay,
See, the problem was when we split the bill, the water authority,
I know what the problem was.
they wanted control of their bill,
Back to refuge now.
and we controlled the sewer and the refuge. So that's why they,
Let me talk, okay?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You put the refuge on the sewer bill so that you could collect. If you didn't collect the refuge, then you could turn the water off.
Correct.
Okay, now we're getting one bill. I got my one bill for water and service charge on 9/23, and it's due on 10/13. Today I got the refuge and sewer bill dated 9/30 and due on 10/20,
Right.
which means everything is due in 1 month. So why don't they just put everything on one bill anyway and charge us one service charge?
Well, the council wanted it separated, but they wanted it, a lot of the people that called us complaining.
Also wanted it staggered.
Yes, and they said they couldn't do it originally. However, we do meet regularly with Mr. Wojtak, and it still is, the council still wants them to keep separating the bill at a different, they don't want them real tight like they are now.
Well, they are tight.
I know they are, and he admits it, but
In September, and this month I have to pay it all in October.
right, but we want it separated further, and I think, he said that as the program evolves, they're going to try to make the necessary changes. When they first did this, it was a mess trying to reprogram the computers to do what we wanted it done. So now it is the hope of council, and I will take your concerns back when we meet with Paul Wojtak, that it was my original thing that I wanted them separated, and I didn't want them piled on together.
Yeah,
So
and it's been all year.
Well,
So far, it's 10 months.
right, we're still going to work on it. It's going to be a slow process. I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen overnight, but
Well, it's not happening overnight because
Right.
it's 10 months already.
right. But we were warned about this, so we will continue to tell them that we want the bills separated. A lot.
Please,
We don't want them as tight as they are.
and at least give us at least 1 month in between to pay one or the other.
I will push for that, and there are a number of us on council that did. It just that he couldn't do it the way we wanted to do it right away.
Yeah, okay.
He explained all the nuances of what had to happen, but No, you're right, but I think, and I will check for you, but I think all they did was separate the service charge.
Another thing, if you call down there, the number is 870-5600, I think. Mm-hmm. No one ever answers. You can never get an answer from the water department. Because I was going to say, if I didn't pay one bill until next month, will I be charged extra? And you can never get an answer from anybody. I talked to the city clerk.
Yeah.
Have an answer.
She didn't answer you?
No.
Next time you can't get through to them, call me personally.
But no one knows the answer. If I'd be charged extra if I didn't pay my bill.
Okay, if you didn't pay your bill and you were late, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, you could never get the water department on the line. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I've never had that problem myself, seriously. But I'm concerned if you are.
Dial their number and you'll see. You get a phone.
What's that number again?
I think 870-5600 or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But it's 870 and another 4 digits.
Okay, and then your question was, you don't pay your bill on time, right?
Right. If I don't pay one of the bills on time,
Right.
I'd be charged extra if I paid it the next month.
Okay, if you don't pay your bill, you want to know if you're going to be charged like a late fee, right?
Right.
Okay, I'll find out for you.
Okay. But I
Okay.
keep up with the city council and get these bills staggered at least monthly.
Yeah, we want it that way, but they warned us it was going to be a work in progress.
Yeah, well,
But the one good thing is that the people are paying a little bit, at a better rate now.
oh yeah,
We have a handle on it, but
sure.
well,
I mean, give us a chance.
well, I agree with you. I never liked the fact that all my bills, when I was when I was younger and I was struggling when I had all the kids at home and everything, it seemed like every bill was due at the same time within 2-week time frame.
It gets worse when you're on Social Security too.
Yeah, I'm there now, and it's not pleasant.
All right.
You got a big raise this year, remember that.
Hey, thank you though. No, he's got a valid point, but
But you know what, this guy wants a raise now because he got more housing, more water coming into the city from.
well, somewhere we got to stop. But you know what?
He's out of hand. He's making
It's
too
not
much
in our
money.
hands as council. We can only pressure the people that are appointed. Go ahead, caller.
Kath, if you're available tonight, we are having our meeting.
Oh, is it tonight?
Yeah, tonight, 7 o'clock.
Okay, I think I'll be there.
Oh, good, thanks.
I hope I will be. I don't think I have anything planned.
Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last time. Are you going to run for mayor?
You're not supposed to ask me that on TV.
No.
And I told you as strong as I could that it's a strong
Okay.
It's a strong possibility, okay?
That's all we're going to leave. Anybody ask me again, that's
Yes.
what I'm going to say. It's a strong possibility.
Yes. It's
And
being
that's it.
considered heavily, but there are many factors.
Right. Okay. Whoever asked me that question, there's your answer.
Feel free to call me, though, at home.
Right. Okay. Now we got that out of the way.
Are you going
Now,
to ask me?
oh, you're going to be.
You can ask me.
You're going to be a county executive.
I don't want to be a county executive. I'll run for mayor. You going to back me?
How much does a county executive get anyway?
Let's see, if I remember right, the controller, I could have told you that one. They made somewhere, I think, in the vicinity of about 60,000, so I am guessing,
The guy on the water department.
well, I'm guessing the
180?
mayor really makes 90 now, so.
93.
So, you'd have to figure the exact probably would be equal or a little above that. Plus, they do it a little different. They have, they regularly go over their salaries and adjust them. Unlike city, we haven't adjusted ours in years.
I guess there's too much hanky-panky going on with county council.
Well,
They're spending money too
I
wild.
don't know. I don't know what it seems like a lot of the things they're doing, and I can't talk much about it because I will be representing the city on the EMTA committee. Okay, so I don't want any of my comments making it look like I've made up my mind or anything. I want to hear what they got to say, but
Now, the city controls that, right?
We are the parent charter group.
You're the charter group.
We, in other words, even though the county has to sign off, okay, we formed it. We initiated the action, starting it, just like we started the convention center, but we turned it over to the county. Okay? You follow me?
Why would you say something to ask that?
The Civic Center?
Yeah.
It was a loser at the time. You know that?
So was the water department. We sold that too.
Well, no, the convention center was a case where every year the people, I always laugh at reporters too. The Civic Center is making money. No, it doesn't. Okay? When you look at,
Buddy, who's that?
it's a meeting of the pension funds. When you look at, I lost my train of thought there.
Come on, pick it up.
What were we talking about?
What were we talking about?
That's bad.
Okay. I want you to say something.
No, start again. Go ahead.
No, you asked me a question, and then all of a sudden you said, look over there, and I looked
Ask
and
your
I,
question again. You distracted him.
I distracted. I
Yes,
forgot
you
what it
did.
was. Go on.
you can't remember what I was talking about. This is embarrassing. It's time for me to retire to the old folks' home, huh?
But like I said, county council is way out of line. If county council representatives pass this stupid bill, they should be all thrown out of office.
Now I remember what you're asking me. Why do we get rid of the arena? Okay?
Right.
At the time, the arena was costing the city money every year.
Right.
Okay? It was operating at a deficit. It still operates at a deficit. Here's what happened different. When we had it, you know, I always laugh at reporters go, hey, it made money. No, it didn't. Okay? There's a thing they call an operating budget. Okay?
Right.
When you take strictly what comes in and what goes out from an operating standpoint. Okay, if the building stood alone and you said, okay, here comes Elton John, okay, he brought X amount of dollars, here's the expenses. At the end of the year, you tally it up, okay? Now, what they have is they have subsidies and all the other things that make up the difference. In the old days, that's how we made up the difference. It came out of, I used to look at some of the old records, 100,000. That was a lot of money back then. 100,000 went in there to balance them at the end of the year, a couple 100,000. When they turned it over to the county, they instituted that room tax. Now that money goes to the convention center.
And see you pick up a dime.
And we can't charge it under third class. I brought it up to a couple of my legislators the other day. I met with them out at Edinburgh. And I said, we need help as a third class city. We need to be able to charge for rooms. We need to be able to maybe get a percent out of the sales tax or something. You got to help us. Pittsburgh and Philly, being second and first class cities, are in a whole different world than we are. Like, you know, you go there and you pay on a room, the room tax goes to the city. Here it doesn't, it goes to the county. Okay? And that's what's bad. We don't get a kickback from the county. That's a wrong term. But we don't get anything back from them. Like maybe, okay, you keep 75 cents, we get a quarter back. Nothing like that. Okay, so they're underwriting. They could do the things with the convention center that we couldn't. We could have never funded all those improvements, whether you like them or not. Okay? So that's what happened there, but, you know, in a nutshell, but we started the Water Authority, the Housing Authority, the Redevelopment Authority.
Who was the mayor at the time? Tulio?
When what happened?
When they bought these authorities and the water department.
I'd have to say, it would be easy to say Lou Tullio.
But I don't think so. I think it was, what's her name?
It might have been Gardner.
No. What's her name? Who was mayor?
Savacchio?
Savacchio.
No,
She's the one that sold the water department.
Wait a minute. The authorities the Redevelopment Authority was a thriving authority when I was in high school. Okay? Joyce was a teacher then. Okay? So that was definitely Lou Tullio. Or it happened before Lou.
But she's the one that sold the water authority.
I think she did, yes.
Yes, the only asset we had in the city making money. Well, we were on the borderline at that time. So she sold it, and the people took it over. They
You
got
know what
their
the
money.
trouble with politics are? Can I tell you? When I was on the school board, we had the Stadium Commission. And the Stadium Commission languished. Stadium looked like a piece of crap, right? Even after they did renovations, it didn't make money. It just started deteriorating slowly. And I give credit to, I can't remember which director it was. It might have been Eva Tucker. It might have been, somebody came up with the idea of, let's approach it different. And we looked at what happened. Here we were giving everything away. If you wanted to use a school building, we gave it away. You wanted to use the stadium for a good cause, we turned on lights and gave it to you. It cost money. The best thing we did, and sometimes this happens with authorities, this is the intent of it, we did not have the political will to charge. Okay? Because we got to go out in the community, and all of a sudden somebody comes up there, you're charging my little critters for playing football, you're charging the Little League for playing football, you're charging this, and what happens? Elected officials capitulate. When in fact you got to run it like you said yourself, got to run it like a business. Okay? It's got to make money.
That's all we can.
So what happens is, like the parking authority, when they took over, you can hate them, you can love them, you can do whatever you want with them. But they haven't ever come to the city for money. And they continue to fund what they're supposed to do, which is create parking and to make money. Okay? Their employees do not make a lot of money. Their director is at the lower end of the scale. They're an example of what is good about that. And the same thing happens with when we turned it over to the Stadium Commission and they start saying, here's a graduated scale. If you're here, you pay this much. If you're a top-notch entertainment, you pay this much. Okay? If you're a high school or college, you pay this much. Band competitions. The stadium recovered the money, replaced the turf at least once. Because it's out of the hands of the... And you know what? It was a relief because they can charge, and all we have to do is say, blame the board. Just like you do now with the water authority. You say, blame them. Now, what you got to be careful of with authorities and commissions are, you hope that the people that are running them have the good... I met the other day, I'll give you an example. The zoo is one of the most well-run organizations I've ever seen. Some of the members actually reach in their pocket and fund it. And they come to the city for help, but, you don't see anybody going nuts over there. You see something that's under control, and it's doing a good job. It's improving. Slow but steady. Yes, it needs government help, but some of the members are dipping in. That's an example of some good authorities. Over the years, you look at, I've heard people say, John Moran is, all of a sudden, he's paying for city police, he's giving us money back, he's improving the lifestyle of people living there, So there are good success stories out there. But, there are some bad ones too. And that's the trouble with authorities. Once you create them, they're supposed to be autonomous because they're supposed to be out of the range of politics. That doesn't always happen, though.
No.
But, in a perfect world, they'd all be run right and we'd be... But no, you have a right to complain.
Like I said, I'm looking at the elderly people like me and you, people are trying to make ends meet. And like this year, we got a big raise on Social Security. We got a big zero. And what's going to happen there? I'm looking at they got food on the table, put a roof over the house, and pay for food, and they can't be paying all these taxes. What does Dow Camper think the money's going to fall from the ceiling?
Well, one of the things we got to do is probably go to the. There's other states out there that have different taxation things. There's all kinds of. I was looking for the word. Things, examples to look at. Like my father-in-law, when he moved to Virginia, they basically froze his taxes. Real estate and all that. What they did was they said, if no one in that house was working and you were on retirement. But that meant you couldn't have a kid living in the house. If you're just retirees, they froze your taxes. They continued to assess your property. So when the new person come in, they picked it up. But for the retirees, there were all kinds of programs. Telephones were cheaper, little incentives for, people not to, reduced auto registration, stuff like that. So there are examples out there, what you can do if you want to. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, what we haven't done in the state is sit down and relook at how we tax. We still got to tax, remember that, okay? You still have to pay for those things that are necessary. It's how you do it, though, and that's what we can suggest on the lower level, but it's really a state problem. The way our Constitution is set up, we can yell and bark all we want down there. People say, why don't you do this? We can't. We do not have the legal right. Like I said about room tax, that's got to change. My big argument is...
How much money would you say is in the room tax?
I have no idea.
10 million?
How much?
10 million?
10 million?
10 million.
In the room tax?
Yeah, over the years. Since that's been started up.
I can tell you this. The tax we charge above be at 1%. That goes to our pension recovery. That nets about 5 to 7 million a year. Okay? I can tell you that. So the room tax is probably very substantial if you take in, when you look at all the rooms around the county. No, we're not going off the air. We're going to protest. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, this is what my buddy Stemka, I'm going to help him get his views in there about a queen on the county council over there that's supposed to know what she's doing, but she's hiring 500 people at $100,000 over there to do what she was supposed to do.
Well, Ronnie, you got to support her.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that more people are being hired, not at a time when we're supposedly, we got declining population in the county, a stagnant,
workforce,
stagnant revenues and everything.
What'd she do? She just hired about 3 or 4 people a couple of months ago, didn't she?
I don't keep track of it over there, but I think everybody seems to have a new idea about somebody they want, and some things make sense, but not everything. I mean,
yeah, but they have to. She's only one person. County council has got to vote them in, them raises and everything. She just can't okay, I'm going to give this person a job and give them $100,000. She can't do this. Got to go in front of the council. Am I right, Cass?
Yeah, just like here. I mean, the mayor can, and same thing in the city. The mayor can propose new personnel or salaries.
Yeah, she's going to hire somebody to open up a doorknob for her, huh?
I don't. It gets to be a little frustrating. I'm glad somebody finally admitted that the county population is going down a little bit, and we better start thinking.
Yeah, but we got all these foreigners. You see in Sunday's paper, there was 2 sets of them, 40 and 45. That's 84 people came into Erie.
Yeah, but
senators. Citizens now.
Even with them, we're losing population. It's a scary thought that my kids have all moved out.
Well, there's no jobs because they take them.
Well, one thing you can say about her, she's going to solve the unemployment situation.
Well, part of it, yeah, but that's not going to help that's going to help a very limited area.
Good. Here we go. Another $54 a year for what? What is she doing? She hasn't done nothing yet.
She just raised taxes. Don't you realize that? The hotel, the ramp, and the communication system. That was, $27 million. Erie County could have did a lot with that money.
But somebody got to start doing and voting something over there to get rid of this stupid stuff that they're doing. Hire. I give you $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 to open the doorknob for me every time I come to my office.
Wow, that's what gets me. That whether you like it or not, paying people $100,000, and the people that are in charge of them are getting less. There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, all right. They're getting all their money, but where do to show for it? We don't got nothing. They didn't show nothing.
No, they don't. It doesn't seem like...
Now, I don't know if they should have got those cameras with the police officers and firemen throughout Erie County. That would have cost like $8 million, probably, about $8 million. That's what they need, those cameras. I don't know if they got them.
Why don't you buy them for Erie? We're part of the county, but you wouldn't know that.
No, but Erie County is a big area if you look at it. And she could have got everybody, all the state troopers and sheriffs and all them cameras. That's more important than throwing the money every which way, you know?
Yeah, I'd be willing to pay for it if you show me something for it. But they can't show you nothing what they gave you the money for. They didn't show it.
Remember Barnes back a few months back? He took a show. He had a camera watching the meeting. Boy, he get thrown under them. Everybody, but Flo said, "Wait, it's a public meeting. He could do that." So he stuck behind the guy about it. That's what you should have a camera every meeting, so everybody can see what really is going on in this county.
Yeah, the Queen's just sitting up there, and I'm going to hire a whole body of people to run business for me while I'm taking the money.
Yeah, but like we say, go back to who votes for it, county council, and most of them on her side.
Well, like you said, Stemka, who's voting nowadays, and look what you get now. You get nothing but garbage.
I have to agree with you there.
Well, thank you for calling, sir.
Okay.
Take care.
Well, it was a pleasure being with you two guys today, and
We got some.
Yeah.
We got to go for things yet.
I didn't have much. I'm still catching up.
you're like another time zone.
I need to catch up with this time zone and figure out what I'm going to do now that Puffer Belly's not going to be there.
Well, you know what? That was I want to tell you that she made her husband passed away, and she lost the fire, and she kind of it's tough, you know. And I know the woman; she's a marvelous lady, and I've eaten there many times. And
There was somebody else.
the thing is that I think what people are sad at is that nobody, took up
Did your insurance buy that building?
That's the rumor. She hasn't said.
No.
But it's like everybody seems to know that they bought it, but everybody wants to know what they're doing with it. I mean, I think most people, they could,
I think, yeah,
they wouldn't mind. I mean, they would love to see it continue. Now, it never stays the same with different owners.
Well, it'd be a good thing for your insurance. Bring people out from all over the country,
But I heard-
to Erie, and they can wine and dine and rake.
But I heard she gave back all the artifacts to the fire museum.
Yeah.
So that doesn't, bode well.
Yeah.
But, I can understand. I just was, the people that they interviewed, most of them got it right. We're going to miss it.
Yeah.
But a couple of comments I heard like, well, sometimes less is better, less is more. No.
Yeah, that was
You know.
dumb.
I can remember they opened that place and it was like, I took people there and they were like amazed. It was like,
It was unique.
it was. And it took a part of French Street that was, I wouldn't say run down, but a forgotten part of French Street that all of a sudden was lively now. You had that, and you had another place.
Sullivan's,
You had someplace next door, remember? I think that belonged to Puffer Belly. They bought the building next door. It was like a little cafe. The Children's Museum brought some life down in the area,
Well, hopefully something will take its place.
Yeah. Well, you missed it. Just she had her final going out, so. Well, thank you, guys. See you again next week.
Yep.
You? Count on you?
Perhaps. I'll be in town for a while.
Next week we will talk about Social Security, disability, Medicaid, Medicare.
Okay.
Okay, because a lot of people don't know.
Adios.
Beautiful week. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that Plan D. If you don't take it, they penalize you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.